If there's one thing that all medical officials can agree on, COVID-19 positivity rates are trending in the wrong direction throughout the nation.
Locally, and just today, the city's El Paso Strong website reported 25 COVID-related deaths. That's the highest number of deaths reported in several months. Some cities and states are even issuing mask mandates because of the rise in COVID-19 cases.
Joining us live to talk to us about this trend is infectious disease expert and ABC7 medical contributor, Dr. Ogachika Lozi. Dr. Lozi, first of all, thank you for coming in. Doctor, how concerning is it that we are reporting such a high number of COVID-related deaths when we're supposed to be trending in the opposite direction? And as a follow-up, are unvaccinated people to blame for the rise in cases?
Yeah, loaded question. So I think, first of all, it's tragic to lose any lives. We've been having this conversation since 2020, and unfortunately it's continued into this year. You also have to remember, however, that the city and the county have changed the way they report. So instead of a daily, we're getting a week glance. Hard to know exactly what happened to those patients. Were they unvaccinated? Were they vaccinated? Older? And again, no excuses in any way, shape, or form, but this is what we expect with a Delta variant that is much more contagious than previously. I think, however, the second part of your question about the blame, we're not in Alabama, and so we're not going to play the blame game in any way, shape, or form. What I think is important, though, is to remind those people, if you're unvaccinated, this is the most dangerous time in any of this pandemic. This variant is more transmissible, there's more virus, and it makes people more susceptible to getting sick. If you haven't been vaccinated, think really long and hard about why you haven't and how we can help you figure out a way to get vaccinated.
Dr. Lozi, some states are returning to mask mandates, so should the borderland follow suit and ask that people mask up again?
I mean, I think we're in a situation where it's political, right? Even if we locally were to do that, we're going to have some pushback from at the state level and the governor. I think the other thing to remember, however, is that El Paso is not Baton Rouge. El Paso is not Miami, and it's not St. Louis. We still, compared to those cities, have some of the highest vaccination rates and the lowest rates of disease in the country. And so El Paso feels very different. I think when I talk to people about whether they should wear a mask, it all depends on how sick are you, how concerned are you, and have you been vaccinated? We know the answer to this riddle. If the riddle is, am I going to get sick and be in the hospital, then the solution has to be vaccination. Anything after that is layered upon it. And so I don't really want to push, per se, a mask mandate, but I think we have to take that individual responsibility. I will say this, though, Stephanie, employers have to start to do a better job. We sort of played around with this conversation of should we, shouldn't we. It absolutely does not matter whether the FDA has made this a fully licensed vaccine or not. Employers are going to have to push their employees to get vaccinated if we really want to get to that second level.
One of the questions that we wanted to ask you, are we seeing an increase in hospitalization rates as well?
Yeah, we are seeing an increase in hospitalization rates, but let's put that into context. In January, I think early January, we had about 39 patients in the hospital with COVID. As of last week, we had 63. So yes, if you look at the raw number, it's up 100%. Those numbers are still much lower than they were in November and much lower than they were last summer. Again, you've heard it said, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. We need to figure out how we can help people that are unvaccinated get vaccinated. This is the most dangerous time to be unvaccinated in this pandemic's history. And if you're unvaccinated, I strongly recommend that you consider getting a shot.
All right, you heard it here first. All right, Dr. Lozi, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
The El Paso man accused of abandoning a husky on the side of the road last week defended his